We're on.
You win some, you lose more.
Queensland footy is dominating the AFL right now. There are frauds all over the place and there is a big, big sound coming out of the West, but how goddamn good is Gather Round? Welcome to AFL Today's wrap-up of Gather Round. I'm your host, Alex Donnelly, in the Adelaide studio. I like this. This really isn't bad. I'm joined over there on my far right, your far left if you're watching. He's had a long, but a good weekend. It's Marcus Bazzano.
It has been a long weekend, plenty of late nights, but it's been good fun. And more importantly, I got to see the Bombers get a win.
Very rare. And a man in the middle. He's been out to the Barossa Valley and back a couple of times. He lost his voice on Friday and he still owes me a sandwich. It's the little fella, Liam McAllion, a.k.a. the Stats Guy.
I completely forgot about that sandwich.
But you want like a $30 sandwich. You've gone like the premium stuff.
I went to the Norwood...
Uber Eats voucher.
No, you had to pay for it with cash. We decided this. I went to the Norwood Food and Wine Festival today. Had an amazing porchetta roll. I would have copped that.
Can I just transfer you? No, we'll sit down and have it together and talk it out. We can be sad about our teams. We can be sad about our teams losing again.
Yeah, we can.
And my voice sounds horrible.
And something that we are sad about was Caleb Sarong missing by one in his multi today. But because we are brought to you by Tab and their AFL's missed by one, if your disposals leg misses by one, Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Caleb Sarong got 29 and we got paid out. How
exactly
good
right.
was that?
I actually had a friend that had him for 30 and used another account and they didn't win. So joke's on them.
What are you really gambling with? Download the Tab app today. Of course, make sure you get around us on the social medias. AFL Today, it is on YouTube. Follow us on X, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, all that good stuff. We've been pumping out the content all weekend long. AFL Today AU on X, TikTok, and Instagram, and it is just Aussie Rules Today on Facebook, but like and subscribe on YouTube. Do all that good stuff.
Yeah, hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Well, we passed 6K, so I'm going to say thank you to the subscribers and the audience. Great work.
Yeah, Marcus on our Thursday show on Cricket Today as well. He's usually our subscriber count guy. He's not usually reliable on that, but at least we're above 6K and he reminded us of that.
Yeah, you really got into him on Thursday's show, I noticed.
Yeah.
He had the count ready to go.
I had it ready the one time he doesn't have a go at me.
It was like the one time.
Although
like
I do feel a little bit naked after Thursday's show because I'm not wearing the footy this time.
Tell you what, you're going to have to wear that footy next week because you wore it last night and Essendon won a game.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you're in trouble there.
It's a good luck charm.
You have to wear it to every Essendon game until they lose.
That's fair.
Yeah, next week.
As always, we're going to wrap up every single game from Gather Round. We'll take a look at the ladder, the Brownlow market this week from Tab, how the big calls went, and a SuperCoach Wash. But of course, games have ended. Let's get into it. Ladder check. Brisbane Lions, 5-0 on 20 points. The Gold Coast Suns are also 4-0. They're on 16. They are second. Lock them in for finals, and I have to buy the pink kit.
That percentage, by the way, you should buy the pink kit anyways.
That's true.
I've got to wait till the end of the year. Got to wait till the end of the year. I won't do it till they're officially locked in. That Essendon game could mean a lot. GWS, they're in third. They're flying 4-1, as are Collingwood 4-1. Hawthorn after that demolish job. The plane crashed. Everything went down. It's all burning. It's on fire. It's fine. They're 4-1 and in fifth. Geelong up to 6th. Adelaide down to 7th. Freo snuck into 8th after the big win. Their percentage is back on track. And you're at St Kilda, who are the other of the 3 and 2 teams. Yeah. They're all right. Sydney Swans, I said that we'd be 0-3 to start the season. So the fact that we're 2-3 means technically I'm on track.
There's a bit of positivity from a crap game, but you're right.
Mate, you can't talk.
Hey, Sydney is supposed to be good.
I said we'd start 0-3. We are literally on track.
You're too easy, mate.
Port Adelaide, they're 2-3. They're going all right. The Western Bulldogs are 2-3 as well. Essendon are 2-2 because the ladder's dumb.
That's a very good point. The fact that there's teams that aren't on the same games is so annoying. Until what round?
No, the last game of the season.
That's disgusting.
Well, not even. They're doing it after the last round.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Last round of the season. North Melbourne, 15th, back in their habitat.
Hey, we're still higher. No, actually, that's where we picked
bottom four. That's the habitat.
Richmond, they're not last, so that's good. They're 1-4 as well.
Yep.
Melbourne, oh boy, 60%, Zip and 5, and West Coast with 49.7% are last.
Well, how good is that? They're averaging the same amount of points per game as their percentage.
Melbourne, that's not ideal.
It's not great. The same as West Coast. This is just, boy. Biggest surprise out of that, I guess, is Gold Coast being second.
Gold Coast being second, and who else have we got?
St Kilda 9th. I'm saying it. St Kilda 9th.
Adelaide 7th as well. Because
a lot of people be all right. You got off because you don't know
broke
ball.
my heart, and also they haven't made finals yet, so we'll see.
Yep.
Well, I reckon probably Hawthorn dropping out of the top 4. Like, they've only lost one
That's
game.
a bit stiff to be out of the top
But,
4.
like,
That doesn't count. They're 4-1.
Well, for
They're
premiership favourites, we're 4-0. I'm not saying it's...
massive game Easter Monday. Massive game.
Yeah, it is a big game. It'll say a lot about Hawthorn without Will Day.
All right, stats, man. We've had 5 rounds of footy now. Every team but Essendon and Gold Coast have played 5 games. Let's not talk about that. You want to look at the Brownlow?
Yeah, why not? Why not? I think there's been a few big movers. We'll start with the favourite first because he's been the favourite all year long. And we're a bit questionable on that because of his impact on the game. It is Nick Dacos, $6 with tab, which is actually still pretty good value, I'd say, especially with tab. He's had 39 disposals. Was it 39 again on the weekend?
Yeah, it was less than that.
Oh, he still racked up a lot of disposals.
A lot of junk.
When he was supposed to be getting tagged by James Jordan, and James Jordan didn't tag him at all. He was nowhere near him.
He did tag him, but it was a lot of junky possessions. It was 34. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he played pretty well. Then the other one we want to look at is the biggest mover this round because he had an absolutely awesome game against the Roos. Matty Rao, $8. What do you reckon about that? I think that's a pretty good bet.
I want to see him do it for more than 5 weeks. Well, he's done it for 4 weeks technically at the moment.
Yeah, this is probably his most consistent run in a season. If he doesn't get injured and he can just play a little bit better, because Noah Anderson, Tuke Miller usually step up, but if he can go right there. And then the last one, this is the sort of value pick. If you think Essendon can get a few more wins, Zach Merritt at $13, I think is really good value. He is dominating. He's getting 30 and 2 goals almost every week. He was awesome again on the weekend.
So I got no idea who's in front of the Brownlow right now. It's probably Zach Merritt.
It's very open. Jordan Dawson had a really good start, but the last couple of weeks
he was horrendous on Thursday.
I'm off him with tab, but Zach Merritt's my little value one there.
Okay, I don't mind it. And the Premiership market.
Brisbane. Again, they just keep winning. They look a bit shaky.
All they do is win.
No matter what. All right, Brisbane, $6 is pretty good. And then the other one is Collingwood at $9. I've just put them in there because I had them picked at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to beat Sydney on the weekend, and they've just keep proving.
They're now $6, Brisbane.
Oh, $6, yeah. That's what I said.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said 7. Yeah.
No, $6. And then Collingwood have dropped just because of that awesome win on Friday night.
GWS still favourite after their awesome win today at Norwood. All right, let's get into it because we need to talk about the results from this week. Thursday night, Adelaide Oval. The Crows, I think they're on fraud watch, boys. 15-10-100, run over by Geelong, 18-11-119. This was a great way to start gather round.
It was. The hill was buzzing. We were on the hill.
The hill brought good vibes throughout the whole weekend, especially when the DJ started playing some good tunes.
Yep.
He loves the camera, that DJ, doesn't he?
He does.
He really looks into it. It's a bit weird.
Like, put it on me. Let's go. Sweet Caroline, bit of love story.
Love story went off on the hill.
It did.
Everyone loves a bit of
Who doesn't love Taylor Swift?
That's true.
But let's just start it. This first half, it was the Fog show. He was strutting ass, just waltzing around going, I am the man, get around me. Everyone was on Thriller to kick some goals, so we were a bit flat.
I know.
But Fog was dominating proceedings. Danger was keeping Geelong in this game. We were there halfway through the second quarter going, Adelaide are really good. And then they kicked. There was a late goal that they kicked that kept them in the game just before halftime. And then after halftime, Jezza decided to get up and about, and Dangerfield, the dominant forward duo, kicked 8 between them.
Yeah, they were unbelievable. Every time the game was sort of in the balance, you looked like Adelaide might kick another one, kick away. Jezza and Danger would just pop. Danger as a forward is just unbelievable. He had an awesome career as a midfielder. Yeah. He's going to end in the net. I reckon he could have another year as a forward. And you're going, he's sort of...
His regen as a forward's pretty good.
He's very similar. I'm going to say this is going to be a bit controversial. To Gary Ablett Jr.
No.
As in the amount of goals. He's nowhere near. Gary Ablett Jr. is the GOAT.
That's a brave call.
Shush.
I meant in terms of he's dominating the midfield, now he's dominating down forward. And Gary Ablett Jr. did exactly that.
No, he's not. No.
Well,
I didn't say he's anywhere near.
I feel like in the future, but Petrarca's nowhere near that, but he could have a similar sort of career.
When Petrarca leaves the D's.
Petrarca leaves the D's. Plays more forward time.
Yeah.
It's similar sort of danger,
Guys
I guess, to Sicily.
Goals,
Like, you can swing me and you put him up forward and you can change a game as a forward.
Keezer was up and about early. The crowd was up and about for Benny Keys. 3 goals, 18 touches. He started off the season on fire. Thought Rankin built into the game well. But the biggest, not letdown, but the biggest disappointment for the Crows out of this was they just let Max Holmes do whatever he wanted.
And Bailey Smith as well.
Bailey Smith's always going to get the footy, but Max Holmes is the main distributor on the outside. Max Holmes, 805 metres gain stats, man. I know you're not big on it, but 32 touches, a goal, and 805 metres. The clear best on ground by about 200 metres. Next was Bailey Smith. It was just a dominant performance by him. Also, the D's the week before put some time into him. And they just got the job done. And they're just like, nah, it's cool. Max Holmes, you're fine.
Yeah, if I'm playing against Geelong, he hates a tag. He hates someone following him around. The D's did it to perfection. And a lot of Cats fans go, Holmes, I was at the Geelong game last week. They're like, he's not going to do much. You just need to put a guy on him
Yeah.
Even if it's like
Just a bit of
halfway,
pressure.
and he doesn't like it. So the fact that they didn't do that was really dumb, and he tore him up.
Your man, Brian Myers,
Oh.
with 0 goal assists this time
Oh,
around.
that's all right. He'll get 5 next week.
He's the most underrated, overrated player of all time, that bloke.
I'm starting to think he's overrated just how much Stats Guy loves him.
Yeah, but I'm like, there's not many people talking about him. Just because he kicks
There's
a bit
a
funny.
lot of people
Just because he
talking
kicks a
about
bit
him.
funny, he's good.
Also,
I'll tell you what was funny.
What?
Bailey Smith doing the double
Yeah, we haven't
bird.
talked about that. Yeah.
what about that? He got fined
Can we do
because
that on this show, or do we get fined?
No, we get fined.
I'll
You
do
get
it
paid
later.
tomorrow. I'll dock your pay.
Oh,
Um,
no, yeah, you can't.
Yes, I can. I can speak to HR. Mate, HR's on Brat Summer in Coachella right now. Yeah, having the best time ever.
Didn't think that was going to pop up.
But what is it with these fans being knobs? Like, at what point do we look at the fans to
Yeah.
stop being idiots? And like, Baz Smith, whatever was said about Danger, they said it was pretty personal and pretty horrific. And Baz has just flipped the bloke off. It's better than him jumping into the crowd like, who was it? Was it someone from Tottenham last year that did it?
Yeah,
Jumped into
that's
the crowd?
right. Eric Dyer. Yeah,
Eric
he
Dyer.
jumped into the. Imagine Bailey Smith
He got
jumping
deported
in.
to Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd rather, if you're going to jump into the crowd, you got to do it in a style like Eric Cantona.
Oh, yeah, just
Kick
karate
them.
kick.
Yeah, but that's the last thing I'd want to do. If my team's just lost a game, I don't want to talk crap to the opposition after they've just won the game.
Yeah.
And imagine waiting around, because Geelong would have been on the ground handing out
They
footies
would
for
have been out for
ages.
ages. So
So that guy must have been held on to that for a while.
He would have been the only Adelaide
Yeah,
fan
he
there.
probably knew that the bridge was going to be pretty full walking back.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
Also, Jordan Dawson had a horror night, just could not hit a target. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have hit the side of a barn door.
He had got a fair bit of the ball, but yeah, couldn't hit the target.
Very unlikely.
I also we didn't mention it, Adelaide were off a 5-day backup. They didn't get home till apparently like 2 a.m. after that Gold Coast game. So they finished the game.
Neither did Marcus,
Well, Marcus has been drinking. The Crows are on hydrolyte. But they had to drive they had to get to the Brisbane airport to get the plane home, and then they had delays and didn't get home late.
You're professional athletes. I
Yeah,
don't,
but
I
also
don't care
I
about
think
stuff.
I'm going to get to your coach complaining about the heat in a second.
I don't like my coach.
So a little bit of an excuse there, but as the fan bases, you're on fraud watch, Adelaide. Absolutely on fraud watch. And Geelong are just like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, because this is a classic Adelaide start to the season. They've done this a lot in the last 5 to 10 years. Look good. I still think they'll be all right.
I think they're allergic to winning close games, despite what happens with umpires. Maybe just get in front.
I'm also glad we didn't mention the umpires because Crows fans just have a sook.
The first
Although, for all fairness, what about that Ollie Dempsey mark that Shoal was in front?
Yeah.
That was pretty
All right,
good.
we need to move on.
I
We're
agree.
going to be talking forever. Friday night, back at the Adelaide Oval. Oh, God. Collingwood 16-13, 109, defeated my Sydney Swans 12-6-78. Collingwood were better. The Swans were terrible with the footy. Game over. Let's move on.
No, we got to talk about it. Sorry, mate.
Gotta
We
talk
all
about the game.
all of us tipped Swans.
Yeah.
And
You're a hater.
Someone got in the comments on me, and I'm going to apologise here. I am sorry that I didn't tip the Pies. I've been
find
on
that
them all
bloke.
year.
Yep.
And this guy goes, he's been on them all year. He tipped him for the flag. Why is he off them? And I said, the Swans
Injuries.
have a really good record. Injuries, people are out. And I feel
We've
like I had
won
some
like
good
6
points.
of the last 7.
And then I go into that game and go, why did I not just... I'm going to stay on Collingwood for the rest of the year now because they just know how to play. Craig McRae's an awesome coach. Their forward line isn't that bad. I think 3 of their guys kicked 3 goals each. So
JC Storm 76.
that's it. Yes, JC. So sorry, JC. I'll be on the Pies for sure next week.
We'll talk on Collingwood first. Ned Long had the best game of his life. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to do that again, but he's definitely not going to be sub. He started on that first clearance on Heaney, 29 disposals. He had 9 clearances, but I thought he was fantastic.
He was awesome.
Big, thick boy in the middle. Like Collingwood needed to find
He's tall
another
as well.
midfielder.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they found one.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he can back it up, but he was just really good because obviously the Swans have an awesome midfield and he was doing that against
Mate,
the
we got
Swans.
one at the moment.
It was.
Cheeks. You like Cheeks?
Love Cheeks. Captain Cheeks.
Yeah.
He was just filling the De Goey void, and he did it to perfection.
Yeah.
That's all
Maybe.
he needed to do, and he maybe even got a leg up on him so far.
Yeah,
this
maybe
season.
DeGoey
Well,
just
he's
goes.
fit.
DeGoey goes to Bali.
It was
Well,
just
to go, he can sit on the half-forward flank and have 15 and a goal.
He could actually.
It was just the small forwards, wasn't it, that really killed the Swans? But for the Pies, Bobby Hill with 3, McCreary with
McCreary.
Yeah,
that was
it was
probably McCreary's
Jamie Elliott
career
3.
best.
So the Swans' biggest problem was their use of the footy. Like, it was a lot of simple mistakes, and then it was also what some people just watch, Collingwood are better. The thing was with the Swans, they were so ferocious on the footy that they were all going in at the same time. And Collingwood, smartly, some of them were just zoning off out of the contest. As soon as the Swans fumbled, which they did a lot of times around the contest, it was bang, out to Collingwood, and they were off. So the Swans' intent was better. Their disposal was not good. The old tried and true of, I'm just going to bomb it in the forward 50 and hope for the best. You've been doing it for 4 years and it doesn't work.
Yeah, because although I don't rate a lot of your forward line,
Oh,
It's
what
not
about
on
that
them.
rubbish?
It's not on them.
What about that rubbish going,
fuming.
the Swans forward line, it's an issue. This is the team that scored the most points in the competition last year.
Yeah, but it wasn't from their forwards. It was from your midfield.
We still scored the most points last year.
Anyway, I was actually going to say something positive. I was going to agree with you if you let me finish. I was saying it's actually not a lot on the forwards. It's a lot on the forward entries. And that's what I was trying to say.
Well, Hayden McLean kept dropping sitters. That didn't
Yeah.
help. Honestly,
He dropped a couple of
He
sitters.
did kick 3, so
he did kick an
have a
awesome
decent
goal.
day.
He could have kicked 5, I think. So,
Yeah.
And the biggest issue was as soon as Joel Amati did his hammy and came off halfway through the second quarter, and then the Swans didn't kick a couple of goals late. That's when the game turned because it messed the Swan structure up because Dean Cox is like, I've got to throw Tommy McCartan forward, which also means next week when Lewis Melican comes back, hopefully that's your backline and maybe you throw Joel Hamling or Logan McDonald forward. Isaac Heaney, I thought he was the best player on the ground.
He definitely played well.
He was your best player.
I thought he was.
100%.
I
27 and
thought
2
he
goals.
impacted the game the most as a singular player. 27 and 2. He was the one who was going to lift the Swans over the line. Unfortunately, too many sloppy mistakes. The Swans desperately need Callum Mills and Errol Goulden back. Errol's not going to be back for like 2-3 months, but Callum Mills due back soon.
Yeah, you relied too much on him at the end of the day.
Chad Warner's been nowhere.
Chad Warner had 24, but he didn't have that impact that we like to see.
Corey Warner was good.
Corey Warner was actually really good. Bice, I thought, was really good. He had 21.
He had one butcher. He kicked it to a 4-on-1 off a kick out, and Collingwood kicked the goal over.
But he's that reliable guy that you can just go, he's going to hit one inside that will get us to go, and he did that a couple of times.
But yeah, Collingwood, their small forwards, I thought Jamie Elliott had one of the best games he's had in a long time. I thought he was phenomenal. McCreary, if he can do that more consistently, Collingwood are going to be a very, very dangerous team.
Yeah, he's such an annoying little man, but he's good.
He is a very underrated player.
Yeah.
He gets so many
McCreary?
tackles. I think Leo is usually on this show hates Bo McCreary, so he won't be happy with that. But yeah,
And
he is very good.
Billy Frampton is just a lockdown fullback. It works.
Against the Swans full.
But when you play like Hayden McLean's still a very decent.
No,
solid
he
forward.
is. He got 3 goals on him though, and he could have had 5. So I don't know.
But Darcy Moore also played on him. But anyway,
Darcy Moore looks a lot stronger. Too.
yeah, fan base is calling it like sick. This is great. And Swans like, oh, yep, we need our players back because they still had 7 of their best out, and another one went down. So
I think the bombing forward is the big issue though, because you guys had a lot of inside 50s that just went to waste.
I feel like this game taught us more about Sydney than the Sydney and North game.
Yeah, I agree because it was against a better team.
Yeah, but I'm also coming out of it not really because I can make up. There was a couple of very dubious umpiring decisions that led to goals, and then very simple mistakes that then were bad forward entries that then Collingwood went back down the other end and kicked the goal. There's your 5 goals. I'm not too disappointed. Let's go to Saturday, Barossa Park. First game out there. North Melbourne actually led the game by 8 points halfway through the third quarter. Ended up losing by 52 as Gold Coast belted them. A 141 to 89. You were there, stats man.
Yes, and Marcus
What's
was there,
wrong
yes.
with your team? Why do they suck?
I'll start on the actual game first, but we do suck partly because of Clarko's game plan, but it's mainly, and finally people, so Leo was big on this on our previous show and a few other shows he's jumped on the Sunday show. It has clearly come down to our midfielders not running 2 ways. I saw Rocket E was talking about it. We've talked about it.
I said it last week about LDU.
You said
and then
it.
he signed a $1.4 million contract. I would have knocked off $250,000 a season.
That was probably his best game of this season so far, but
LDU?
That was on the attacking end, yeah.
He kicked 3 behinds and 1 out on the full.
Mate,
Yeah, but he had
still
about 10 clearances.
But he
or something.
still doesn't run the other way.
I know, that's what I was about to say.
And you're paying him $1.4 a year. When Colby McKercher, he's got second year blues, by the way, that kid.
He's been horrible, yes.
Second year blues, which you can forgive. When he walks to Tasmania in 2 years' time because you paid LDU.
Do you bring that up every show?
I'm going because it's true.
Tassie.
You just
They're
wasted
not
all
even
your
ticked
money.
off as a team yet, Tassie. It's all good.
There was an announcement about the stadium today, actually.
Oh, there you go. Are these going to have the holes in it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the stupid holes. Anyway,
that's not gonna
the
go
Suns,
ahead.
they started hot in the first quarter, and I think it was to do with their kit. Their kit looked absolutely awesome. They were calling it the Rose kit at the Barossa Valley. It looked beautiful. A few people around the ground had it on.
They've
And
sold out 3 times.
Wait, the kits?
kits.
3 times that they've released
Other
sold out.
AFL teams like North, Collingwood, like teams that just always have the same kit every week.
Yeah.
Swans had a really good kit this weekend. Hawks have a really
Never wear it against Sydney.
We need some new kits.
Never wear it again.
And the Suns,
You've lost.
they don't have a big fan base. The fact that they're
Yeah.
selling them out with the least members, I think, are they the least members or GWS?
GWS.
Anyway, they're the second least members and they're selling out jerseys. Awesome
I
effort. So,
believe they're going to wear it more often.
yeah.
Oh, I hope so. It was very good.
We're talking to Leo's, sorry.
Yeah, well, they were 30 points up as well, Gold Coast.
Yeah, I was about to
And
mention
then
that.
North,
Classic Gold Coast. They have a switch-off moment, but also when North Melbourne get their run game going, they aren't half bad.
Yeah, they
Just
look
you
dangerous.
forget
And we
to
were
defend.
like, wait, something is cooking here.
Yeah, so
And then it was just some of the easiest goals you'll ever see conceded.
Oh yeah, you're like when
last quarter and a half.
Yeah, you just let them walk through your defense on transition too many times. It was the same problem against the Swans last week. If you just go reverse, halfway through the third quarter, hit play, and you're just like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, we were talking about the game. So our whole game is just relies on luck. I think Leo's mate, actually, who's on the show, he was saying about halfway, if there's a 50-50 ball and we win it, we can probably get a goal. But if we don't, all of our players are all pressed up, and then we look absolutely cooked. And it annoys the crap out of me.
There was a point at that game when Ben King kicked one of his 5 goals where Charlie Comben ran 40 metres off the ball to not impact a contest, and
don't get me started.
Ben King was just standing in the goal square, pass it to me.
It's me.
The amount of walking goals was ridiculous.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Matt Rowell was amazing. It's also helped that the whole of the North Melbourne team doesn't know how to tackle. I don't care. Our passing was all right. We had Caleb Daniel, 90% efficiency. We had a few others. We cannot lay a tackle. Matt Rowell, I think, I was trying to count him throughout the game, probably got out of about 11 tackles where a player had a hand on him. So that really frustrated me. But he was unbelievable. He had 11 clearances as well, Matt Rowell. He was best on for me. John Noble, your man, the weapon.
The weapon. What a game.
We made a crap player like John Noble look like the best player.
The poor bugger John Noble. It was 34 degrees, baking hot, and he probably got 3rd-degree skin cancer.
Yeah, I think he had to go off a couple. He doesn't usually come off because he's a very fit man. Yeah. He had to go off a couple of times just to lather up the sunscreen with the paint roller.
Yeah, you couldn't see his tattoos by the end of the game.
But yeah, you always back him up. You think he's really good.
Yeah, I think John Noble's a very good player.
He's consistent,
and they look very dangerous. Gold Coast off half back with their new recruits. Dan Rioli didn't have his best game, but Johnny Noble was fantastic.
Gold Coast still kicked 12 of the last 15 goals.
Yeah, so obviously we had the lead, 8 point, then lost by 52. Not great. Simkin was really good. I think he's had a career resurgence.
It's all well and good.
Not good.
You can score, but you can't defend.
Yeah, and one more thing, but I'm not going to mention.
I'm annoyed that Ben King had a handball in his game. 6 possessions, 5 goals
5
straight.
goals. I know.
How
crazy
Ben King, what are you doing?
And Clarko talked about polish.
Oh, yeah, Leo's not happy.
Yeah, because he says in every interview it comes out to polish. It's not just that. It's about a game plan. It's about the kicking efficiency. It's polished. Polish is just a word that just means
I also
crap.
want to say that your coach is now coming up with excuses. I might be on board with Leo that he's washed.
He is. The game's past him.
He's come out in the middle of April and gone, why are we playing at midday when it's really hot? Clarko, it's April. It's just unseasonably hot.
Most AFL players they're like the fittest players.
Also, you've been playing in a sauna for 3 weeks at Marvel.
Yeah.
Stop complaining, mate. Be a better coach. You're a premiership winning coach. Be better.
Yep.
Fan bases.
Fan bases, not great, but we'll beat Carlton next week. So
wow. And Gold Coast are like, this is amazing. Yeah. So, in the last decade, teams that have started 4-0 haven't missed the finals.
And this is their best.
It's their best start to a season ever.
When you start 4-4 from 4, you don't miss finals.
Also,
in the last decade,
the
only team in the last 15 years to miss when starting 4-0. Take a guess.
Swans. No, Swans did it.
Probably the Bombers.
Essendon.
Essendon twice. One when they got expelled from the finals because of drugs, and one in like
whatever it
2013.
Takes, whatever it takes.
Hey, that's a good song. But yeah, Essendon, the only team to miss when starting 4 and zip. Adelaide Oval for the other game on Saturday. Again, stinking hot. This sucked. Carlton 17-19, 121.
They've done it.
They played in the second half.
West Coast 6-14-50. This game in the first half was the worst piece of rubbish I've ever seen.
In terms of just both teams? Or?
It was pathetic.
What was worse, the first half or Carlton's open training, which you said was kind of ordinary?
So I went to Carlton's open training on Friday. I stayed for 15 minutes and left because it was rubbish. Like,
we love Carlton though.
We love Carlton. Like, they've been very good to us with player access and that. I meant, yeah. But the open training session, the skills were terrible. Like, the lack of urgency there was just deplorable. And social gal Spence, I was like, oh, you guys suck. And she's like, yeah, this is bad. And then you see that first half and it's just like, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, just simple forward entries that no one can hit. Everyone's missing targets. Like, there wasn't a breath of wind. It was stinking hot.
It was hot.
But no one could kick straight.
No. There was,
as you can see, that
17 goals, 19. The fact that they still got to 121, though, that's
23
positive.
Goals, 33.
That's positive. I know it was against West Coast, but the positive is they finally had a good second half. They've ran out the game, at least.
Against a bunch of children where there's 15 players on this West Coast team that shouldn't be on a list. So they're on a list because West Coast are rubbish.
Yeah. Are they the worst team? We got to say they're
worse than Richmond.
Worst team ever?
No. Melbourne.
That Demons team, what was it, like 20?
Early 10s?
Yeah, like 12 or 13. They were bad.
I think not the worst team ever, but right now they have to be the worst team because I'm just saying that as a North fan, I want to get some move up the ranks a bit. But
They definitely are.
not the way.
Richmond are
have
showing
been playing
something.
all right.
Richmond will beat them.
Even at times there were patches today where, well, it's getting a bit off topic,
Yeah, we'll
but
talk
Richmond played
about
all
it.
right.
They
But
did,
there's three Eagles players that have over 20 touches. Then you look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, Baker was really good again. He's been really solid.
But it's 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with under 10 touches for the Eagles. Like it's just they aren't good, and they have a long way to go. And I'm going to keep bringing it up every week. Giving up your future for Chad Warner is not going to fix your problems.
Yeah, 100%. They've recruited poorly. They've obviously dropped Tim Kelly now, who was supposed to be their marquee guy, so not going well.
Well, I feel like Ruben Jimby can be that Chad Warner sort of player.
He's playing backline though. He's playing back pocket at the moment.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Carlton a bit. So
Carlton,
first of all, Harry Mackay, a concussion out a head clash with Tom Gross.
Yeah.
Why didn't Tom Gross come off for a HIA? I'm just throwing it out there. It looked bad.
Did he not?
Brody Kemp, I think he snapped his Achilles because he just took off and just fell to the ground like a sack.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It wasn't good. But Carlton led by 29 at halftime, came out and just went whack, whack, whack. But I think did I send stats in one of the chats?
You did actually.
I need to find
AFL
that.
Today one, I believe.
Yeah, in one of our chats.
There was a good stat.
So some Carlton stats. So West Coast. They only had 77 contested possessions for the game. It's the lowest in the history of the AFL. They lost that by 59. They lost the inside 50, 73-35. They lost clearances 40-18, and they lost the game by 71. This shows you what kind of team we're dealing with. And this is coming against a team that was 0-4 coming into it. Just not.
We have to check that. Everyone knows that Carlton was 0-4.
I didn't know it was 0-5. But Sam Walsh, 3 goals, 37, 3 votes.
I think that is the best game. I know it was against West Coast. In terms of stats, that is the best game of his career. 37 and 3 goals. Zach Merritt
He needed a game like that, Sam Walsh, because he has been underwhelming so far this season, and also I'd say for a fair chunk of last season as well.
Yeah. I think that shows his fitness because we were worried about Carlton's fitness. He was.
They played him on the outside.
Played him on the outside.
Luke Hodge said it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Play Sam Walsh on the outside.
Yeah, and he was just working up and down both ends of the ground. It was just good to see the fitness coming out a bit. So hopefully Carlton get on a roll a little bit with that.
Sydney Swans legend George Hewitt had 39. He was everywhere, just all over the place, running up and down all day. He's the fittest man on that field. Just his work rate, just outworking a lot of those Eagles players, which allowed Cripps to roll forward and kick a couple of goals. What do you have?
3 goals, 3.
Yeah,
Three
and
goals,
then Corey Durden had 4 goals.
Durden.
He jumped up from the VFL. Olivia behind the camera, social girl, was very happy that he's in. He shouldn't be in the VFL. He needs some more goal scoring options. I do think it can be that small forward that they need because Motlop is a bit up and down, but he just needs to provide a bit more consistency against the better teams.
I get that, but I feel like Matt always was that man. And
I know, that's
he did
what
manage.
I said. And Carlton fans pretend. I know so many Carlton fans. They pretend that Matt always wasn't that good. He was bloody good.
Yeah, he wasn't good, but I mean,
serviceable.
He was
serviceable.
good. I thought
he was workmanlike.
Yeah.
But he did manage to hit the scoreboard against his old side.
He did, and the commentators tried to make it like a big thing.
It's like you're down by 70.
You're down by 70.
Shush.
But he kicked the goal.
Anyway, fan bases, Carlton are like, well, sweet. Can we beat North Melbourne? ? And West Coast like, oh man, even Essendon may beat us by 100.
Yeah,
that's harsh.
I don't mean,
That's the point.
Essendon got it. Our teams didn't win this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I got to get drive-bys where I can.
You guys had the vibe, anyway.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break here from our sponsors. Be back after this.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by 1 on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by 1 on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab, we're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
All right, let's get to Norwood Oval. I'm calling it. Game of the round. Brisbane Lions, 18-10-118, ran over the Western Bulldogs, 14-13-97. This is what you call a game of 2 halves, gentlemen. At halftime, it was 62-29. At the end of the game, 118-97. This is the 8th time in a row that when Brisbane Lions have trailed at halftime, they've just gone, so what? We're going to win. All they do is win.
I cringed it the first time. The second time was even worse.
I joined in the first time, but I wasn't joining in the second time. Dogs looked so good early. I think we had on in the hotel after we came back from the Barossa.
I went and got sunstroke.
I know, it was bloody hot.
Oh, can we talk about for Barossa, there needs to be more shade.
There was no shade at all.
At Norwood, there's none.
But at least there's a stand. There's no
Yeah, my mum went to the Richmond game today, and they had to leave 15 minutes in the second quarter because the heat was just ridiculous.
It wasn't this hot. We were there last year, stood in the sun for the whole game. It wasn't that hot. We got lucky today. We went to the GWS Saints game. We got into the media area, but if you weren't there, it was just dreadful. But anyway, the Dogs,
They started so well. Yeah.
But no, the second quarter, mate,
Yeah.
7 goals to 1. I'm just sitting there going, what's this?
Goal.
Aaron Norton.
Sam Darcy, yeah.
Maybe Aaron Norton will be good for the Norwood Redlegs. Maybe that's his level.
Maybe that's his level.
Maybe, yeah.
And then Eric Hipwood went psycho. I'm like, yeah, Eric Hipwood, SA NFL superstar.
Maybe-
What do you have? 1 touch at half time and then he finishes with
Everyone was
5?
going off about how good it was for Eric. I mean, Eric thought he was playing a preseason game that didn't count.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm still on the thing of full hippie. We had full, what did we say last year? Full Joey.
Full Joe.
Full Joe down here.
Like,
Full hippie.
Eric
You
kicked
don't know where you're
5.
gonna get.
Like, come on.
He kicked them all in the second half. Fags, there's a really good photo if you can find it online of Chris Fagan giving him a death stare, and he went up to Hipwood at halftime and goes, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be our big forward." Then he goes out and kicks 5 and absolutely dominated. Before that, though, Sam Darcy was absolutely tearing apart Harris Andrews. I know Sam Darcy's going to tear apart everyone because of his long arms, but he kicked 2 goals, 3 again.
Yeah, he didn't kick straight
If
enough.
he kicks accurate,
He kicked 5 straight last week.
yeah, I know. But the week before, I think he kicked 3 behinds as well. Just needs to kick a little bit more accurate.
For all the talk about how good Sam Darcy was, Logan Morris was better.
That's what I was saying. Even when
Yeah.
even
We
in the
haven't
first
mentioned it
half, when Hipwood was
It was
down,
Logan Morris.
Logan Morris was
He was
the
so
one
good,
who was
yeah.
keeping in that game, and just shows the maturity that all the Brisbane young players have.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Ashcrofts.
I'm a big Jasper Fletcher guy.
Jasper Fletcher,
25.
Darcy Wilmot as well.
Yep.
They're playing above their class, and they've definitely got the best B grade level players.
Oh,
in the
they're
competition
depth.
by a mile.
I agree.
By a
I agree.
mile.
That's a good call.
Yeah. I also thought Calamarchi was good. Rayner popped up with a couple of goals, but Hugh McCluggage just decided to go huge McCluggage with 32.
Huge.
Also, the amount of goals that Brisbane walked in
Yeah.
in
Oh
that
my
second half when they were on that run.
Yeah, we were
was-
talking about that. They literally
Oh.
got so many on the line. The Dogs were pressing up to way too high.
Yeah.
Lob was, I was going to talk about Lob's hair again. That was pretty funny.
Well, there were times where players were taking a
was up the
contested
ground.
mark on the edge of
Yeah.
the goal square, and they just get up and walk it in with dog players around them.
Yes. Rayner and Hipwood were on the line a few times.
Norton popped up a bit, then sort of faded out of the game. He did kick 3. Like, Riley West had a weirdly good game, but he kicked 1 goal 3. Like, if he kicks straight,
Yeah.
it's a completely different story. Matt Kennedy is such a bull in that midfield for the Dogs.
He has been so good.
Again, imagine if Carlton had him.
What did he end up with? He had
27, I
27, 6 clearances. That's probably his best game in the Dogs. There was
good
about
last
4
week.
guys that were taped up their heads as well. There's a lot of like head clashes and bumps and things. It just looked like
We
an
also
old
got
school
paid
game.
out for Libba having 24s. We had him for 25.
Exactly
God
right.
bless you,
And
Libba.
my sip of Richard's 25 plus also got up. I need to actually have a look at my tips from Thursday.
We're going to have to put Charlie Cameron on cartons of milk soon because that dude's missing.
Oh,
Yeah, he is. He is.
that is such an old school
And it was
reference.
what did
that
he
I'm-
finish with? He did
0-3. Didn't kick a goal.
and he had a couple out in the Fools as well.
Yeah.
if
Oh,
I can recall.
He's just not good at the moment, is he? And he's supposed to be, because I think there was a show talking about, I can't remember which one, was who's the best small forward. A lot of small forwards have one good week and then drop off.
Technically, it's Jack Higgins right now, but then he was horrible today.
Well,
Actually, it's Toby. Toby's the best small forward in the comp right now.
He needs to go to sleep with a picture of Paul Curtis on his roof.
Yes, Paul Curtis is
Zach Bailey was good. He kicked 3.
Yeah.
It's those random Zach Bailey games when he pops up and does well. But this was just a great game of footy.
Awesome
If
game.
you're going to watch a game of footy from the weekend or a KO Mini, it's this one because this was awesome.
Yeah,
it
the-
was just the ball was just
fast-paced
flinging around
in the small ground. You can get
The
it
vibes in
really.
Norwood were
Vibes. Everyone was buzzing. Awesome.
Yeah, everyone having tins on the hill. Some of us were watching Fangirl bolt in the Queen of the Turf. It was a great afternoon. Fan bases, Western Bulldogs like, ooh, okay, that's 2 in a row that we've leaked goals. So they leaked 14 goals in the second half. They leaked 6 before halftime against Freo last week. So they got to try and stop that. Stop those runs.
Yeah.
You'd still be happy as a Dogs fan, I
Yeah,
think.
you're
But this
happy,
game
but
is a
there's
bit annoying
worries.
because they weren't expected
What
to
are
be
they, 2 and 3?
They are conceding too many points for my liking to be
Quickly.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
you know make
Their
the finals
defense
and win
isn't
the
that
finals.
good.
Yeah, and Brisbane, keep on rolling, baby. Just keep
Brisbane
on
just
rolling.
know how to win. Like everyone,
Big game against Collingwood Thursday night.
we talked about
Huge.
Brisbane last week. Fans, if you're down by 30, because
Yeah.
Is that Gabba or the G?
Gabba. Easter
Yeah.
Thursday at the Gabba. Remember when someone was like, oh, it's a worry that Brisbane Lions keep falling behind? No, they keep winning. Who cares?
That's
Oh,
what it's about.
Swans couldn't win first scores. They kept winning. Just keep winning. Saturday night. The death knell. You know when The Undertaker comes out? You know,
Yes,
when you
like
hear the
this.
gong? No, but you hear the gong? The gongs were playing in this game for Simon Goodwin's coaching career as Melbourne 8-9-57, defeated by Essendon 15-6-96. Marcus got to see his team win. This
finally.
was not good.
That was a very happy.
It wasn't a
footy.
good game. It wasn't pretty, but I think it's more you take the 4 points and move on to next
He
week.
ended up winning by 40, so well done.
Yeah, but we did kick 2 or 3 goals in the last minute.
We were walking out,
to extend
and there
that.
was just 2 or 3 goals.
Ah,
Like, jeez.
I missed that.
Yeah.
We kicked two goals in the last 20 seconds to
Okay.
Because Melbourne are just like, oh, we're done. And put it
Yeah,
down.
well, Melbourne had their typical good 15 minutes of footy.
At the start of the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was like,
No,
hold on.
in the third quarter.
No,
when
I'm
they-
talking about
third.
like when Essendon were playing really well. I'm like, hold on, this could be a big win for us. A good percentage booster considering
Still is, yeah.
Adelaide cooked us
Kinda.
by 10 goals. But then, the momentum started to swing a little bit. Bailey Fritsch
Zach Merritt.
kicked a nice one after an out in the full.
Yeah.
He still was crap. Like their forward line. Do
We
they have
kicked
the worst?
2 or 3 in the end though?
Do they have the worst performing forward line? Not on paper, but performing forward line in the competition
West
right
Coast.
now. No,
I
I'd
was
rather
heading
West
into
Coast.
this-
West Coast kicked 6 goals, man.
Yeah, but they kicked
was-
8. That's not that much better. Like I don't know. I just Melbourne's forward line is so bad.
I was saying this end of the season, they're putting way too much pressure on Van Rooyen
Yeah, he's
being
only
the number
tall.
1 tall forward.
He's only tall.
Melbourne have
Yeah.
kicked 2 more goals than West Coast this season.
That's not great. And Melbourne's list is a lot,
Lot
better, than
yeah,
West Coast.
yeah.
Is it really?
Oh
Yes.
yes, you just roasted
Yes.
West Coast for half an hour.
I mean, the D's list isn't that great either at the moment.
No, they're
Like-
just underperforming. It's
No, they're
weird.
not. Well, they're not underperforming. It's Bailey Fritsch has fallen off a hill.
are.
It's been the same problem year on year ever since that 2021 grand final. They needed a key target. They had Ben Brown. He's gone. You're making Jacob Van Rooyen your number 1 key forward, but you're also making him your second ruck.
Yeah, it's not
Gornicus
good.
did dominate the ruck. I'll give him that because Nick Bryan went down and did his knee.
Yeah,
in
that,
the
that
first
didn't
5
help
minutes.
the Bombers because
Yeah.
Nick Bryan, although he's not like a superstar, he's pretty
He gets
consistent.
around the ground
He
as
gets
well.
around the ground, whereas Draper has been a lot better forward. He was actually pretty solid, Draper. He took a big hanger, got a few
He had a couple
highlight
moments,
plays.
like Draper does.
the
every
little
week.
dribble on the boundary and everyone's
Yeah.
standing up. He's just a weird guy, but he's weirdly quick. He's
Yeah.
weirdly good, athletic, but he doesn't look like he is. I don't know. He's a strange guy. But Gorn was, really good.
Gorn was
Gorn
good.
was
Back
good,
to, but it's also like, Clary was buzzing around doing all right. Jack
Nah,
Barney was
Clary
kind of there. But that's what he's
Had
buzzing around.
so many nothing
Petrarca
touches.
butchered the footy a fair bit. It's like, so the Demons came out in the second half. It's like, they need an answer or they're going to get blown out by 60, 70 points here. And they came out, they kicked a few goals. Cozzy was up and about. Bailey Fritsch snags one. The turning point of this is they got it to 10 points. Stephen May is going to take a mark. And Nick Martin's like, nah, knock it out of your hand and walks into an open goal. They were gone. As soon as that goal was kicked, over.
Yeah, the momentum, you could just tell around the ground as well.
Yeah.
These fans got a little bit flat. But your man, Alex,
Who?
had a rip snorter of a game. Ed Langdon,
Oh.
25 and a goal. He was down half back,
The
full back,
people's-
taking
I
intercept
swear
marks.
he had a magnet. There was every
Oh.
forward entry. Every second forward entry because you guys kicked a lot of goals in the end.
Ed kicked a goal.
He kicked a goal, but he is the fittest man in the competition. I'm pretty sure he didn't come off for like a solid 10 games in a row last year. He doesn't go off. That's
And
how fit he is.
he's
just
always in the
unbelievable.
top 5 for
K's.
Distance,
K's.
yeah.
K's run.
He's another underrated guy that just is the perfect outside player.
Well, Nick Martin had 28 and a goal. Ben Hobbs, who we were like, who's that? Oh, it's Ben Hobbs. Yeah,
You guys
20
have
and
3
2.
guys look exactly the
I'm
same.
I'm always so frustrated with Ben Hobbs, but that is his
He was
best
good.
game in an Essendon shirt.
Yeah.
20 disposals, 2 goals. Zach Merritt. Oh, I love watching Zach Merritt. I hate Essendon, but I love watching Zach.
Jai
He's so-
Menzies
We got to stop saying we hate teams because people get annoyed.
I
do.
love Zach Merritt. If he leaves, I will cry.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then Jai, I was going to say Jai Menzies legacy game, but he's not
It
usually
was
good. But he was his
it
best
would
game
have
of his
been a
career.
leg-
4
yeah.
goals, and his best before that was 2. So he popped up. Really, he was really good.
Yeah, and that's been a problem with Essendon is goals from small forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few of the D's young guns that are coming through just didn't have good nights. Lindsay and Henderson weren't great.
Kako,
Kako,
he was in our multi,
at
and he
the-
just, what was he doing?
At
He,
the moment with Kako,
he's
I'm
running the
thinking
wrong way.
He's more sizzle than steak at the moment. That
but
guy.
he's only played a couple
But
of
he's
games.
in his first season.
He's young.
We're expecting a lot of him because
got cool
there was-
hair.
Because there was the hype about the way he got drafted. I reckon we need to cool our jets on him. If he pops
Yeah,
up
I'm not
and kicks a
having
goal every second week, he's doing his job. He's
Yeah.
creating pressure.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I reckon if he does the same thing for 2 more weeks, though,
His,
Oh,
his footy
back to
I-
their
his
foul,
footy
yeah.
his footy IQ needs to improve.
Yeah.
But he also got burnt to a crisp a couple of
Oh,
yeah, he
times.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that because we were
When
running
Nate Caddy in the
multi-
last quarter, he took the 30 seconds instead of
Yeah.
we had Nick Martin and Kako running into the goal scorer.
Yeah, he turned his back. Never turn your back.
Yeah.
Always keep your eyes forward. That's the first rule when you play Auskick. Never turn your back. Fan bases. D's are 0 and 5, so their fans are like, oh man, Goody's got to go.
Like, they won I saw this post today. I really liked it. It was like they won a flag that had an asterisk on it in COVID.
Yeah.
And now they're crap, and they thought that was the dynasty. Like, as a D's fans would be really hurting because the
Hello to my mother-in-law.
the last 20 years they've had an absolute horror run.
Freo
and now it's happening
So hold
again.
on, let's just quickly. They play Freo next week.
Oh, that's a loss.
Yep.
Do we want to do this?
No,
for D's
quickly.
fans?
Anzac
Sorry.
Day Eve, Richmond.
They should win that.
Oh, very nice.
But it's
They should win
50-50.
that.
That could
Well,
be-
I don't think
Oh,
that's 50.
You know, you said 50-50. That's going to be the score.
Yeah.
No, neither team's going to keep
And then they have West Coast in Perth. So if they
don't beat West Coast,
so if they're 1-7
your
after
team.
8 rounds, I think Goodwin's gone. They have to beat I reckon they have to beat Richmond for Goodwin to keep his job.
They're not kicking winnable scores. They're averaging 60 points a game
I know
this
that's
season.
so bad.
I talked about it all last year. It was my big thing that they can't kick a score and they're just simply rubbish. And they are. And Essendon fan base, you're like, yes.
Yes, we're like,
You look good.
we'll like
Yeah.
take the 4
No,
points,
no.
move on. If we can use it as a momentum, just, keep the winning times rolling. Just know how to win. I think that's important.
Yep.
Back to the Barossa Sunday. Richmond 7-5-47, who weren't actually terrible. Defeated by Fremantle 16-12, 108. So this is a team that Richmond team at halftime they were down by 10 points and they kicked 1 goal in the second half.
Yeah.
You look at the first half in isolation and go, great effort, that's fantastic, how good.
Yep.
Second half got blown out by a really good team who kicked 9 goals. Not only kicking 1 goal in the second half and then only kicking 2 behinds in the final quarter. Poor, but you're going to expect that from this team now and then. We know what Richmond are. We expect more from West Coast and Melbourne.
They'll play well at the G as well, I think, like as they proved against Brisbane. I was there, just again, the only annoying thing about the
Big
Barossa,
Dick Cyclone
it was, he kicked a
Big
kahuna.
He kicked 6 goal one.
He was getting angry in the second half when they weren't passing to him because he wanted to kick 10.
He was on for a big one.
I was like, mate, you're up by 40 points. But the first half was actually really good. Tigers fans were really up and about.
Richmond led the majority of the first
It
half.
was good. The ball was flinging around.
The pressure from the Tigers was really good.
This was that's the thing. If Richmond can keep that up for a full game against a team that's probably, we expect a lot out of Freo. That's a lot lower than Freo, like a Melbourne and Adelaide, maybe even a Sydney. They can probably pop them off.
So how many wins do you think Richmond get this year?
4,
Based on what we've seen so far.
4.
2, possibly 3.
I'm gonna say 4.
I reckon they can beat
probably
the D's and West Coast at the MCG. I don't know if they've got West Coast at the MCG yet.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Because it's like they go to the MCG Anzac Day Eve. That is their grand final, and then if they lose their next 5 by 60, who cares? You've done that.
Well, they got Dreamtime. They typically play well with Dreamtime as well, so that could be a game.
But yeah, so this game was more, as I said, it was a game in 2 halves. The biggest worry for me as not a Fremantle fan,
I was going to say.
4 Fremantle fans.
Jai Miss. He went a missing.
Yeah, he's been
a bit meh.
underwhelming.
Not as that. He's been extremely underwhelming ever since he copped
What's
that
his
concussion
stats?
at the start of last year. He had 2 touches.
Oh, and they smoked him as well.
Yeah, he was nowhere near it.
I just realised I was there, and I genuinely, if you said, did Jai Miss play, I wouldn't have even known. I just realised.
It's Josh Tracy's forward line now. 6 goals, 1. Frederick popped up with 3.
Frederick was great.
Shai Bolton was zipping around. He could have had a really big day, but he kicked 2 goals, 3.
Oh,
But
he was really good.
This is one of those games that you look back on and go, everything kind of worked for Freo in the second half. The way they wanted, the way they came out of clearance. Brayshaw, Sarong, Chapman found plenty of the footy. Jordan Clark's working into the season well, as is Hayden Young. Like everything that they wanted out of those players who were sort of that nucleus in the midfield and running off half back is what they wanted.
Was Hayden Young's first game
back. He played, I think,
he's played in the
limited minutes as well. They were talking
So that's
about
what I mean. Like working back into it. Jaeger's popping around doing bits. Jeremy Sharp's all right. Jacob Hopper, he's been fantastic the last 2 weeks.
A lot of nothing touches.
Yeah,
but he gets
he's in and
clearances
under.
as well.
He's been in and under.
He has, but who else is going to get them?
But it's also like you look at the
Durant.
clearances, like the top clearance getter was 6, and then it's Nank and Hopper with 5 apiece.
Yeah. The best on ground, though, because if you weren't there, you might not know.
Josh Tracy.
Other than I've almost put Alex Pearce was unbelievable. He was taking, I think he took about 10. How many
Kicked a
marks?
goal as well.
Kicked his first
7
goal
marks.
of the year. He's only kicked 5 goals in his whole career. That was his 6th goal. 7 marks. He was just running off. He was playing sort of Luke Ryan's role as a big guy. He was taking marks. He was running off half back.
Luke Ryan only had
He's so-
16.
Yeah, Luke Ryan. I don't know if he was injured or something. They subbed him out as just to be. He had a sore shoulder apparently.
Okay. Tom Lynch, they subbed out early, but it's like the game was over halfway through the third quarter. So
Tom Lynch looked injured even from the start.
That's what I mean.
so-
You've got to manage Tom Lynch through the season because if you don't have him without Lafau back as of yet, because he did his knee last year, when he comes back like that forward line can do some damage.
Yeah. And then Luke Jackson as well was a big one. He was out in the third quarter. So
Luke Jackson didn't
Oh wait,
play.
what
Darcy.
am I
You
saying?
thinking of
Luke
Darcy?
Sorry.
So that
Sean Darcy. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that was I said Luke Darcy.
Yeah.
Saw him
My
walking
bad,
through
my
the
bad.
Rundle Mall the other day.
Yes.
Big boy. But no, so that would have been their dream scenario with Darcy is to get him halfway through the third quarter because they said, he's kind of not ready.
Yeah, give him a
I
rest,
don't reckon
yeah.
he'll play next week.
Mm.
And I know
Interesting.
Jackson's
Yeah,
out for a couple of weeks.
That's a big call.
I don't reckon they're playing because it's 6 days. They got to play next Saturday at the MCG.
Well, they do have a promising ruckman in the wings, I believe.
No idea.
Oh yeah, they do.
I can't remember his
forgot
name. Sorry,
They
for
do.
my fans,
They do.
I'm sure it's Dante Vizentini. Just thought of his
Yeah, another
name.
good one for Freo fans. This guy needs to be in their starting team. He's just building into the season. Is Dudley. He came on as the sub.
Favorite.
He is so good. The crowd, as soon as he came on, were cheering because they're up by 40 points and everyone's like, this is a crap. Oh, Dudley's on. He took a few bounces. He did a flip. He was everywhere. He got a couple of goal assists.
While we're talking about salaries, can we talk about Pat Voss? He went full Mitch Marsh. He did the fend off, snap around the shoulder, and he went to the races. He was running as a big boy.
It was so funny.
He get in the way of him.
I think Derm on the commentary was like, I've never seen him run so fast.
Like Warney when he got his 700th, he was off.
You would hate to play against him because he doesn't do that much in a game. But when he does something good, he gets up and about, and you're like, oh, he's done it again.
He was always he just couldn't quite crack it into the team when he was at Essendon.
His secret is that
he's a good teammate.
He doesn't.
His secret is spraying set shots when it's a crucial time.
No, his secret is he doesn't drink beers anymore. That's why he's playing well.
As a point, I reckon I'm the only person over the age of 18 that hasn't consumed an alcoholic beverage this weekend.
That is a disgrace.
So what am I, Pete Laddams then?
Yeah.
Mate, the Esche wasn't terrible on Friday night.
No, he was all
He's
right.
just got to realise that he's 6'7" and not, 148 centimetres with the way he darts around, takes a bounce.
He fits in well in Adelaide as well. There's a lot of Esche.
I love the Esche. God bless Peter Laddams.
What are your thoughts on Shai Bolton's game against his former side?
Solid.
He set up so many goals.
He's working into the season.
He just kicked 0-3 and he
kicked 2-3, mate.
in the first half, I was about to say. And then, then he cost my big call as well.
Relax. He's working into the season well, but he's trying to do too much at the moment.
Yep. Yeah.
Fan bases. Richmond, the first half was good. I turned it off at half time.
Yeah.
And Freo good. That was concern.
Yeah.
There was it's fine. It's fine.
I think the weather, I didn't say this before, Gold Coast and Freo down at Barossa, because just the heat, the weather helps. The weather does help.
Mate, it's been stinking hot in Melbourne this summer too.
I know, but
no, I'm not buying into that. No, it's been hot.
You talk about the time, so I'm talking about the weather.
Yes, because sleep clocks are a completely different thing.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to Norwood, where once again it was stinking hot, but oh my God, this game of footy was hot as GWS 16-14, 110 defeated St Kilda. 12-10-82. Again, two best games of the week were at Norwood, as we thought they would be throughout the week. Yeah, this game was great.
I thought the Friday night was probably
Thursday.
Oh, sorry, Thursday night. Geelong and Adelaide. That was an awesome game.
They're the three best games.
Yeah,
they are the three best games out of it. So, yeah. Lockie Ash had a career best game.
33.
He was everywhere, but it was Toby time.
Yeah, finally. Is that his best game in 2 years? In terms of how many goals he's kicked?
This season, in all fairness, he's come back.
He's got the dad strength. He finally got some sleep in the offseason. He's got the dad strength, 5 goals, 17 touches, but he was absolutely everywhere. Nazaya Wanganeen-Malira, though. Holy crap.
Oh, my God.
I know that the Saints are worried about Tom DeConing, and that maybe sign up Naz, because he is going to be worth every cent that you give him.
Yeah, I think he's already got his mindset.
What, the Crows?
Yeah, to come back to South Australia.
Oh, how good's that Adelaide half-back line going to be? Oh. Cooper Sharman, Leo's favourite player, kicked 3 as well.
Yes.
Yep. And Jake Stringer finally got on the board, finally kicked a couple of goals. He kicked 2 too. He was okay. As was Jesse Hogan. Not a big game for him, but he was on Wilkie. But the thing is,
he needs to get on the ball a little bit more. Only 8 touches for Jake. For someone who, I know they got
he still looks unfit.
They got a plethora of midfielders. But he is a guy that you can just chuck in there at a centre bounce and just burst
the ground was that small anyway. You had Josh Kelly, Tom Green starting in a lot of the clearances there. Weirdly, Tom Green started second half on the bench. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I thought
too much.
Watching the game, Hugo Garcia was really good. I think he's built into the season really well. The first part of the season, everyone goes, I bloody brought him into my SuperCoach side. He had a 20 and a 40, and then he's been really good since then. He had 23 touches, 4 clearances. I feel like every time I looked up, it was either him or Naz setting up their goals, and I was pretty impressed.
Oh, Briggsy had a good game in the ruck too against Rowan Marshall as well, but it's like, it was the top end of this. And Sam Taylor, oh, God, he's good. I hate how good Sam Taylor is because
he's the other Sydney team.
Yeah, it's just like, mate, seriously, he's just he's the best defender in the competition by so far. It isn't funny. I'm sorry, Harris Andrews, he is better than you right now.
Harris Andrews is not I wouldn't say he's. I'm trying to think of who else. I was going to say not top 3.
It's Sam Taylor and Harris Andrews, mate.
I'm trying to think of who else is up there.
Honestly.
Get in the comments.
Darcy Moore up there.
Get in the comments. Top 3 defenders in the AFL.
Ben McKay?
No. He wasn't bad on what's it?
Yeah, I'm just joking.
But this was good. Sinclair popped up. Windhager was sort of everywhere. This was just a really good game of footy. I know St Kilda fans will probably be a little bit annoyed that they lost, but if you're coming out and be like, there's a lot to like. Yes, we've conceded a score, but it's the premiership favourites. We've still kicked a score too, and there are exciting signs. It's like, oh no, we can win some games, and Leo said it. They can possibly play finals. I know that the other king just swallowed air. The other king has had a setback, but it's like, do they need him? Like they're playing such attacking
They play
footy.
better without some of their top players. Like it doesn't make sense. But yeah, they'd rather obviously Max King hasn't been his good form. I still think you can help him out a little bit because they rely on their smalls to kick a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And then you basically got Caminiti playing on the number one defender.
Yeah, he's been good.
Which is why Sam Taylor was
Dougal Howard.
Yeah.
They need Dougal Howard back.
Yeah, for sure.
So the fan base is basically out of this. The GWS like, nice, like we're good. And St Kilda fans, they're probably not too annoyed. Like it's a good start.
They're definitely I think they were expecting a loss, so they probably can't be too disheartened. But they're definitely overperforming so far this season. I had them pretty much as a banker for almost bottom four.
Nice. Yeah, I did too. I think.
Yeah,
I think I had them like 12th or 13th.
Yeah,
in the St Kilda zone.
St Kilda at least are impressing, and then GWS they're one of the best away teams all like last couple of seasons. So they're really good.
Harvey Thomas in how many
I was
ever
about
games
to say
he's played?
that.
Has played at more grounds than Scott Pendlebury
21
already.
games Harvey Thomas has played, and he's already played at more grounds than Pendles.
That's ridiculous.
That the Collingwood bias.
And you wonder why Scott Pendlebury's going to break the games record. It's because he doesn't travel.
Oh, and he's also a superstar that is very durable and doesn't get injured.
Doesn't travel.
Oh, you're gonna cop that in the comments.
It's all right. Anyway, finally, are we going to do it? Let's do it.
Hey, what are you doing,
Get it in you.
I feel bad.
Nah.
I'll be the resident Hawthorn supporter on the show.
boo.
Now that Leo's not here, I'm not going to come in and
We may need to send out like a search team and like an SOS just to make sure that he's okay.
He was wearing the wizard hat. Check out on the socials AFL today. He was wearing
Someone
the wizard
threw a
hat.
gum at it.
Yeah. We'll go
As
to it.
Port Adelaide, 121, 18 goals, 13, defeat Hawthorn, 14-7-91. Now, this doesn't give like the full scope of this game. It was 79-20 at halftime.
Yep.
And then,
I didn't realize it was that 79-20.
but then it was also like, we got a scare halfway through the last quarter when Hawthorn kicked like 4 goals pretty quickly. They kicked 7 goals in the last quarter. Port Adelaide ended up kicking 4 goals. Like this margin doesn't reflect how dominant Port were. Like this was over at quarter time.
Oh, yeah, this was just we were watching they kicked the first 4 goals, Port Adelaide, and we're going, what the hell? Hawks have been a much better team. Port are struggling.
Producer Gerald and I and Social Gal Spence watched the first 4 goals before coming into here to film.
Unbelievable.
Atmosphere was electric. It was insane.
Never
Never
Tear Us
Tear Us
Apart.
Apart was good. Hawthorn coming out to, I can't even remember what song it was. It's
Bean.
like, Bean. It's like, oh yeah, you think you've got aura. Bang! Cop that
Yeah.
Seth Can.
No lad use feet.
Kapow!
Yeah, they look so good at the
It was
start.
just one of those games. It was just one
You
of those
called
games,
it.
the
You
Port
said you had
Adelaide
a
one.
feeling that the Power would be fired up. They were gonna
Up
run over.
for it. Butters back after, obviously he was back in the previous week, but
Yeah.
now he had, he's got
Connor
that full
Rozee got
game
his
under
hands
his
on the
belt.
footy.
And
Connor Rozee as well.
yeah, that's very true. He actually did get his hands on the footy,
Yeah.
but they dominated inside 50s, clearances.
Well, they scored 60 points from turnover, which is the big thing. Scoring points from turnover is a way to winning the flag as well.
Yep.
60 points there, but they also had 81 points they scored were from forward half chains, which is just insane.
That is crazy. They just look so silky. It was like the Port Adelaide of old, where last year they obviously made the finals. Like this year, everyone's going, oh, they don't look like they're going to make the finals. Their forward line fired up. They actually had 10 different goal kickers. Now, they don't have that big forwards like we've mentioned about Melbourne. We were saying the same thing about Port. If you have a bit of a spread in your midfield, sort of like Sydney and a few other teams, kick some goals out of your midfield.
Brisbane.
They had 10 goal kickers. All their players stepped up. I don't reckon their depth looked that good on paper, but they all stepped up.
Is it a concern that 11 of Hawthorn's goals have come from Gunston, Sicily, Meek, and Warple?
Yeah, especially 6 goals for Gunston. Where's that come
Luke
from?
Bruce kicked one like with 30 seconds to go. Marbior's only kicked one. Like the Wizard didn't kick one. Ginnivan didn't kick one. So like their forward line didn't fire tonight at all, which I've said all the way through. Like I don't think they can win a flag with Marbior as the guy. Mitch Lewis needs to be there, but it's also like Gunston's kicked 6, which is still a phenomenal effort, but you can't rely on Jack Gunston every week.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I do think, do you think Hawthorn can still hold their heads high?
No. Oh, no.
As a fan base, even in general?
I don't think they should be losing that game to Port, who have been
They were
woeful.
down by like 60 points at one point.
And then with 7 minutes to go, obviously the double goal for Willie Rioli.
Yeah, what about that? So Willie Rioli walks into an open goal, shows the ball, to
Wait,
CJ.
Are you all for it? Are you all for
I
the show on the
love
ball?
it
Yeah.
because
I'm fine with
there's
it.
a bit of beef there. Yeah.
How funny was it when Ash Johnson showed the ball in the VFL and then
Yeah. Then
got
he
ran
slipped
down?
down. Yeah.
See, don't
Good
do
chase
it when
down.
you're like Ash Johnson. But
He
if you're
doesn't
Willie
have more.
Rioli, who's good, yeah, you can do it.
And then he got the double goal in
Dumped by
20
CJ.
seconds.
Well, yeah, like thank God that wasn't like a very tight game in the end because you'd be spewing if you're Sam Mitchell giving that away. I get it, you're frustrated. That's probably it was the sealer at that point, even though the game was already over. It just reassured everyone that it was done. Hawthorn. Big concerns ahead of not big concerns.
No, I think this is
it's
just a little
it's a
bump.
litmus
bump
test next week against Geelong.
Yeah.
Do we think they might have got a little bit cocky and going, oh, we're going to get the revenge on Port?
No. They didn't buy into it this week. They were like, this is another game of footy.
No, I meant subconsciously maybe. I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
I reckon Port Adelaide were just more ready to go. They'd played last week. Hawthorn had had the bye. So you've got a bit of that. It's the last game of the week. You're hanging around all week, whereas Port is like, oh,
Did we learn more about Port Adelaide or Hawthorn in this game?
I learned more about
More
Hawthorn.
Port.
I've learned more about Hawthorn.
I think this is just one of those games we're going to look at in the later in the season. We go, how the hell did Hawks lose that? And Port.
No, not how the hell
That's
did the
what I-
Hawks
that's what I'm
lose
thinking.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
I think that Port are still not that good, and they're just fired up for this game because it's like it's big
All right.
rivalry and revenge.
Port and Sydney next week at the SCG.
Yeah, if
Well, last time it was a rip snorter of a game.
No, wasn't this one smashed them?
Oh,
Prelim.
was it the time before that?
The time before that was the 100-point beating. The time before that was the 2-point game.
oh yeah, they beat them by 100.
Was it the Florent when he thought he kicked it
yeah,
off?
that
or
was
something?
the
Yeah.
start.
That was a really good
that
game,
was
yeah.
23. Yeah, early 23. Both McCartons got concussed. I remember.
Yeah, we'll talk about the beef for this one. Butters he's always in there, the little man.
Oh, he's getting another
Still
fine.
He might.
So fiery.
100%.
He's already got the most fines in AFL history, and he's
Both teams will cop big fines probably.
yeah. CJ might. William.
There's a bit of a
maybe not
concern.
William.
Bergman hurt his knee. He got subbed out.
He was really good early too.
Yeah, he got subbed out in the second quarter. It was like 11 goals to 1 at that point. Like that was the thing. Like me as a Swans fan, I was like, I've lived this nightmare before. It's okay. You'll be fine. It doesn't mean anything when it comes to prelims because Port can't win prelims. But Jace Burgoyne, he bounced back. He had a better game. Willem Drew was good as well. But the most important thing for me is as a Port fan, Connor Rozee.
Yeah, you need him
2
to fire
goals,
every week.
28 touches. He had the microscope put on him. Like me.
After the Essendon game.
Yeah, said, mate, you're handsome, but get a kick.
No, he's handsome and he got a kick.
He got a lot of kicks.
He got 28 of them.
Yeah, and, Hornet just has had yet another good game.
Yeah, the most pleasing thing for Port Adelaide is that goals came from everywhere. And there was no standouts. You had a few.
But that's it. If you have
that
Willie,
kicked 2,
yeah,
couple 3.
if you have Willie and Georgiades
ones.
kicking 6 goals between them each week, and Rozee, Powell Pepper,
Joe
bounce up.
Richards is proving to be an awesome pickup. Like again,
His first quarter was
I think he's another one that's a little bit underrated. From 2 goals, 16 disposals. I'm really happy with him because he was in hand with a lot of goals and one guy that sort of slipped for the
Cochrane
Pies,
kicked his first goal as well.
Yep. Power
They all
fan.
got
This
around
is-
him.
Oh, I think we're going to say it. A little bit embarrassing, I reckon, for the Hawks going over there.
I thought you meant celebrating the first goal. I was
No,
like,
no. I'm just saying the Hawks are like that team that just think they strut around everywhere. No way should they be getting smashed by Port Adelaide, in my opinion. I feel like you two don't agree with me on that one, but
No, I think
I
it's
don't think
just-
they should be
but
getting
it's also-
smashed.
I
That's
said-
really bad.
I
by
said-
them.
I said it-
man.
No, I'm being harsh to them. I think they'll be really good. For the
It
back
was
end
just
of
one
the
of
year.
I
those
said it
games.
in the off season, and I also said it about
No, I agree with that, but yeah.
So I said it about the off season, and I said it about their women's team last year. Hollywood Hawks, when things don't go their way, they
Hollywood Hawks.
throw the toys out of the cot, and they're not happy.
But
They're young, they're yappies, they're petulant children.
oh, back.
They're entertaining, though.
This says the man that said there was too many youths.
they're
at the footy.
entertaining. They're entertaining. And that's what we need in football.
Oh,
It's
I
being
love it.
So
But it-
policed
yeah, I love it.
now.
I love
though.
it.
I love when things, but it's also like when things don't go your way, don't carry on like knobs.
Yeah, like CJ. But
Yeah.
yeah, he looks
That one I can cop. If someone did that to me and you'd given us
That's
a belting,
True.
you'd come across and
There'd be, in local footy, there'd be a few punches.
Oh yeah, there would have been
yeah.
a strike somewhere, but I didn't mind. It was just a nudge in the back.
A
It was
nudge in
just
the back,
yeah.
yeah.
Jordan Sweet dominated Meekie as well. 47 hitouts. I thought he was great. Meek had a good game too.
Yeah, I thought Meek was still
Big on Big
Still
Sweetie.
right.
And Ken can sleep happy.
Fan bases can enough. How good's what is it? The transition or whatever that is. The coaching plan.
Yeah.
Coaching plan.
Succession plan. that's it.
Succession plan. Josh needs braces. And Sam Mitchell will rip shreds off Hawthorn. And fan base is like, oh, we can't play that level.
What
have they lost, like, the
Although I
last
was being
7?
harsh towards them because I didn't think they should lose this game, let alone get smashed. This, I reckon, will be just a little bump in the road. They'll be fine.
A big game next week. If they can't win next week,
Who they got?
Geelong.
Oh, of course, Easter Monday. Yeah,
so they've
I
lost
love that game.
1, 2, 3, 4. They've lost 5 of their last 6 at the Adelaide Oval.
Okay.
Hawks.
Not a great record.
See how they go next
That's
week.
not ideal. There we go.
After all that, quick check on the tipping results. I got 6 because I tipped the Swans and Hawthorn. And Adelaide. Stats guy got 7. Marcus got 7.
Yep, I came back. The Port game,
That's
we assume
slated.
they're going to win. But yes.
Well, no, they have one.
Yeah,
They have one.
They have one.
They're about 10 goals up at the moment.
Yeah.
But they brought me back into the 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I think on some things I tipped Collingwood. I should have stuck
On
to
the
that.
show.
So again, I already apologise, but I will be tipping Collingwood.
So with that brings us to the Gather Round 2026 schedule that I've already done. That I've done the AFL's job for them.
You're more
because
passionate about this than the rest of the show.
promotion and relegation, mate. I'm all about it. So Thursday night at the Adelaide Oval. So the obvious teams always have to stay at the Adelaide Oval.
Actually,
So,
we'll give you a rating about your decision.
Yeah, okay.
all right. So there is promotion and relegation. If you've lost games at certain grounds, you get kicked out. North Melbourne are staying at Barossa.
Well, we can't go any further away. It's bloody
I'd
an
put
hour
you
and a
at
half away.
Bordertown if possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I've changed the schedule too. So Thursday night, Adelaide Oval. Adelaide play GWS to start it.
Yeah, that's a big tick. Oh,
Friday, 5 p.m. at Norwood. So 5 p.m. local time. St Kilda play the D's. No, it's Friday afternoon. If you're at the pub watching it, fine.
These fans don't
Yeah.
turn up. Small ground.
Yeah.
So we're going 2 games on Friday.
Yeah, 2 games on Friday. So Friday, 5 p.m. into a 7:40 start here at the Adelaide Oval.
I like that.
Or I guess they do want to share it around the ground.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, it could be a double header at Adelaide.
No.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Friday that we were just hanging around. We wanted another game on
See?
Friday. So I don't mind.
Friday night, Collingwood retain their spot Friday night. They play the Gold Coast Suns,
Oh,
who get promoted.
yeah.
Saturday at Barossa, Richmond play the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Yep. Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., whatever, at the Adelaide Oval, Essendon play Geelong.
Another Adelaide Oval game.
Yeah, you won.
Well, you won,
You
so you're going
won.
to stay there.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night, so the double header, you can have like a half an hour, 40-minute gap, whatever. Carlton play Hawthorn.
Yep.
Oh,
Huge.
but then it's going to be. Oh, I was going to say that could be a smash.
But that's a big crowd. Like, that's 2 good games. Sunday at the
Okay.
Barossa, North Melbourne play West Coast, because
Oh, well, actually, I just want to gather round win. So that is a 10 out of 10 from me because we always play these good teams in gather round.
Sunday at Norwood, the Swans play Fremantle. The Swans demoted to Norwood. Fremantle promoted to Norwood. From
Promoted.
Barossa.
Yeah.
From the
From the
Barossa.
Barossa.
Yeah,
Well,
less
it's
travel.
about an hour
Seems
closer. So.
slightly harsh, but
No, I'm all for that.
Yeah. And we finish off on the Sunday night, again the same time, because I loved how this game started. Port Adelaide play the Brisbane Lions.
Yes, there's a bit of rivalry there too. There's been a lot of finals rivalry. This could be the most in agreement I've ever been with you.
Yeah.
So
Out of 10.
that was pretty good.
out of 10.
I'll give it a 7.
Because yeah.
7. It was
Actually,
pretty
yeah,
good,
actually,
but I'll
mate,
give it a 7.
I'll go an 8 or 8.5 because I was very happy with that.
Like for Carlton Hawthorn, I don't know if you want to save that game for the MCG.
We just had
when you
Sydney.
get a
And,
bang-
we had Sydney and Collingwood, and Sydney want to play Collingwood at the MCG or at the SCG. So you've
Yeah.
got to put on a big game or
because
two.
that's a banker for at another ground for obviously.
Yeah.
Not Adelaide Oval's fault.
Well,
It's
that's
one of
like
the best-
Essendon and Geelong as well. But I've got to got to put some good games on. And I thought like Collingwood Gold Coast would be a really fun one for Friday night too, because Gold Coast don't get many Fridays either.
And Collingwood at least can still have a good crowd because it's
Oh, it'll be a
Collingwood.
great crowd anyway.
Yep.
Big core results. Stats guy Shy Bolton 4+.
Oh, bloody Shy Bolton. If he's watching, of course he is. He kicked 0-3 in the first half. He absolutely cost me 4+. He should have at least had 5. He missed some easy ones, and then he kicked 2 goals in the second half. So
All
I
right,
was
come
really
on, hurry
filthy.
up.
I was filthy with that.
Marcus, Jack Higgins loves Adelaide. He probably doesn't because they lost.
Yeah, he probably doesn't because they lost.
And
I
he
don't
didn't
think
do the love heart either.
No, he didn't do the celebration.
Wow. Yeah.
He
tear
He
my
played
heart
well
apart.
though. He played well.
Leo, King and Long, 8+ goals combined.
Ding, ding,
Nailed
ding,
it.
ding. First big call of the season.
No, I got mine last week.
What?
D's wouldn't get 60.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's not a big call anymore, but
I
last
know.
week
They averaged 60.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the second week in a row.
that was a mid call. I reckon.
Mine was Thriller at kick 5 and he didn't get near the footy.
No.
Leo's was more impressive.
Yeah.
Leo literally, so that big call got up on the siren because Ben Long kicked one from 60 metres out on the siren.
Full credit, best team of the round. For me, it's the Brisbane Lions. You kick 14 goals in the second half and turn over that deficit. You are the best team of the round.
Oh,
Marcus.
Obviously, I'm going to go Port Adelaide at the moment. They're still playing, but they are 10 goals up.
no, they were amazing, yeah.
Not many
ridiculous.
people predicted them to win. Because I thought it was just one of these games where they get up at Adelaide Oval under the lights against this Hawthorn team, which they have a
Crowd was
rivalry with.
nuts. I was there for the first 20 minutes. Crowd was nuts.
How was Never Tear Us
Never
Apart?
tear us apart.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's got nothing on, North London forever.
Yeah, but
I feel like
No,
you'll
that's
never
a
walk
gag,
alone.
'cause-
It's probably.
Yeah, that's the joke. Like,
Yeah.
you'll never walk alone is probably the one. Or zombie that the Island rugby team.
I don't know the liquidator at Stamford Bridge when Chelsea played.
And stats, man, yours.
I'm gonna go Geelong. A lot of people wrote him off. Every single person here tipped Adelaide. Every single person. Most teams in Australia.
believed.
No one really believed in Geelong. I had a Geelong fan, mate. He was like, no one believed in us, and we got another win.
Oh, shut up. You've been good for 40 years.
No,
Go away.
That was a great win by Geelong. A lot of young guys stepped up.
To swing the momentum
30 points down.
in Adelaide against Adelaide.
That's
The crowd
thing.
was booing half the game, so they did well.
I'd boo my team too. Best on ground of the week, Toby Green. I saw it up close. Toby was sick.
He was.
I saw
5 goals.
In fairness, we've seen a lot of really good performances this week, but I enjoyed Toby's game.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with Sam Walsh. I know it's a bit of a pity game because it was against West Coast, but he needed
That's
numbers like these.
is that like when
37-3
you know,
is still very good no matter who you play against.
Is that like when you play on the PlayStation and you get annoyed, so you play the team on amateur and so you just smash them? Like, that's what Sam Walsh did.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep, fair.
That doesn't count.
We already talked about him, but I'm going Ned Long. I think he was the reason why Collingwood beat Sydney. A lot of us tipped Sydney.
No one's putting Ned Long as their best on ground.
All right.
That is a terrible choice.
That's
No,
my
I
choice.
don't hate the choice,
got
but I
9
don't think
clearances.
he won Collingwood the game.
I think he did. He was bursting through packs. He got so many inside 50s for him as well. Him or
Well,
side bottom.
If we're talking about what we predict how they're going to play, our expectations of them.
Yes.
No, that's not what I meant.
exceeded.
I think he was he was their best player. So that's why, and they won an awesome
Side
game.
bottom and Dacos.
And they absolutely smoked Sydney. So I was happy with that. And I'm going Ned Long.
It's a terrible choice. SuperCoach Wash. Zach Reed got 104. That was the
my
1 point I
bench.
would have started. Mine too. Riley Bice that everyone bought in got 89 on a negative 98 break even. He's just a lock as a D6, I reckon, for the rest of the year.
Is he already one of the top 3 kicks in the competition?
No. There's a better one in the Swans team than him.
Who?
Braden Campbell.
Yeah, but
Braden Campbell
I
is
feel like Bice goes for those hard kicks a lot more.
So does Braden Campbell. Braden Campbell's a better kick of the footy. Naz got 133.
Yep.
You had him captain in draft. I don't know where you pulled that from. That's a good
And in
pick.
Classic as well.
That's a no one would have captained him.
I captained Brayshaw, 155.
Oh, I captained wrong. He was 100.
Very good.
Baz Smith, 126. Caleb Daniels still somehow got 116. Like, honestly.
No, that was the best game he's played all year. He had one turnover.
He didn't butcher the ball.
90% disposal efficiency and like 30 touches. So he was actually out. Him and Zach Fisher, who I usually can't stand, were really good on the week.
And Max Holmes he scored 147.
Yeah, Lockie Ash got 130 odd as we talked. Nank, he's just dominating. He
Jack
got
McRae, who's
125.
supposed to be the best midfielder in the competition, only got 70. So
He was horrendous too.
was bad.
Max Gorn 145, Huge McCluggage 135, and I think there was a big score. Yeah, Sam Walsh 141.
I'm also going to score less this week than I did the week before with best 18.
Nick Dacos 134. Brody Grundy, who we forgot to mention, he was up for the fight for the Swans. He got 122, and Heaney a 119.
He probably just got over the top of Darcy Cameron.
Yeah, because that was a good battle. They both played well.
I reckon you split the
fairly
votes.
even.
They played really well,
Yeah, split
both
the
of them.
votes.
Yep.
Split the votes. All right, that'll do us for AFL Today for today. This has been the Gather Round edition. Can we have couches like this in our new studio?
We said the exact same thing on
comfy.
Thursday
We are
night.
building a new studio.
I've been going like this all show.
I'm really comfortable right now. Like, I like this.
It's good.
But
Except
if you,
for these kids behind me.
If I can get further away from you as possible, then that's perfect.
Yeah, it's actually a good gap.
and if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button, little notifications bell. So anytime we do a video, it pops up on your feed, as well as X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more footy content for the rest of the season. Social Gal Spence has been behind the scenes pumping out content like there's no tomorrow or gather round, as long as her other stuff with punters and everything else.
Yeah, check out a lot of funny gather-rounds. Hey, he's a footy. I'm Caleb Daniel.
I am Ball.
You are Ball. We're all doing lots of content on there, and it's gone really well.
Yeah, so it's
check it out.
AFL Today AU on X,
Hodgie as
Instagram,
well.
and TikTok. We interviewed Hodgie. If you want to check out that interview, we talked about a lot about gather round, but there's also just some little nuggets of gold there from him as well. Facebook is Aussie Rules Today. Make sure you subscribe and like all of our shows on your podcast app, this one especially, but also Cricket Today, AFLW Today, Hold All Tickets, True Bloods, and Honest Beers, which will be a very interesting episode this week because both of the teams lost.
And the boys have had a big gather-round weekend.
They have not stopped.
They'll be a little bit flat, but you
Yeah.
can still be happy if you're a Hawthorn fan with the record you got currently.
Yeah. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Alex. And also, we have 6,025 current subscribers.
Thank you.
So I'll know if you don't subscribe, so do it now.
Yeah. Thank you to Stats Man.
Thank you. I still will get you that sandwich. I won't forget.
Your voice is resurrected. Now I go away soon, so yeah, I need that before I go.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Actually,
I'm away till you go away.
Just hope you forget.
Tuesday.
No, I'm away.
You're not.
I'm sick. I can't. Actually, if I can't talk, I cannot physically do my job.
Well,
so
you can because we don't have any shows to do Tuesday, so you're in the office, mate. And of course, our sponsors at Tab, big thanks to them. We're brought to you by AFL's Missed by One. If your disposals leg misses by one, hello to a few players today. Caleb Sarong, indeed. Tab still pay you out as a winner. Download the Tab app today. What are you really gambling with? It'll be disappointing, the midweek madness this week, because we'll be back in the studio. It's going to be different. Not in the car, not in Adelaide, but we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe we should just drive around the city. Just do another car. That was fun.
No, because
I don't think Gerald wants to do that.
Gerald does not want to do that. Actually, shout out to producer Gerald.
Yes.
He's killed it this week. That dude is an absolute legend. He's jacked. He's the man.
Still found time to hit the gym.
Yeah, he did. And, mate, protein, hydrolyte, everything.
I was lifting scooters.
Yeah, we'll catch you Wednesday for the midweek madness. See you then.
Tonight's game's going to be epic.
Missed by one on the AFL? With Tab, you can stay in the game. Miss by one on any disposals leg, and Tab will still pay you out as a winner. Tab, we're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.